Hello everybody, my name is Gaurav Shenoy and today I am going to show you how to install the Cloudmesh client on an Ubuntu Linux machine. So to a quick recap on what we have done till now. So we have installed Ubuntu machine as a virtual machine inside the VirtualBox, and in the last video we have seen the different prerequisites that we need to install and how we basically prepare a system, make it ready so that we can now go ahead and install the Cloudmesh client application. uh, Again, to get the location of where we have the documentation for this particular Cloudmesh client is github.com Cloudmesh client. So if we go here in this client, you can find different resources available. Again, inside docs, source, we have the different source documents here. So initially in the previous video I showed you all the system.rst, which basically gives you instructions on the different prerequisites on the preparation steps to get your system up and running. Now for installing Cloudmesh client, we go to the installation.rst document here. So to quickly tell you guys, there are two ways how you can install Cloudmesh client. So the first way is you can install Cloudmesh via pip, and you can also install Cloudmesh via the source. Right now we are facing some problems with installation of Cloudmesh via pip, and there are some files which are not getting created, which causes the Cloudmesh client application to crash. So we are already fixing that. But to be on the safer side, let's go ahead and install Cloudmesh from source. So installing Cloudmesh from source means that you're simply going to be pulling the source files and then installing it on your machine. A very important step here is to prepare your virtual environment. In the previous video, I told you guys how to install the virtual environment and how to activate it. I'll just give you a quick recap here. So a virtual environment for Python means that you are going to create an isolated environment in which all your Python libraries are going to be residing, so that won't affect the system libraries or system distribution packages for Python. So in case if you are working on any project and you want to just isolate the different packages that you download for that particular project, you don't want to touch your system libraries, so you simply create a virtual environment that's a folder on your machine with a separate Python and separate pip for that particular project, and then you keep downloading the different libraries there. So we already did this particular step. So virtual env tilde env means that you're going to create a virtual environment for Python in the home directory. Inside the home directory, the env folder, and source env bin activate means that you're going to be activating this particular virtual environment, which is currently residing in the home/env folder. So let's do that. So let's open up the terminal, and the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open up the we are going to activate our virtual environment. There you go. An env here means that your virtual environment has been activated. Okay, so if you follow these particular steps here, the first thing that you need to do is you simply create a directory. So let's say we create a directory called Cloudmesh, and let's navigate to Cloudmesh. Now what we need to do is we need to clone these two repositories, that is the base repository and the client repository. So the base repository contains certain files or certain things which the client needs, and the client is our main application repository here. So we have cloned the base, so let's go ahead and clone the client. So you can think of the base repository of containing certain utilities which the client repository utilizes. There you go. So we have the base and the client repositories pulled up. So if you do an ls, you can see base and client pulled up here. So since we know that a client uses the base, so we'll go ahead and first install base. So we first navigate to base, and if you do an ls -l, you can see that there are some requirements here, the Python requirements. So let's go ahead and try and install these particular requirements. So you do pip install -r requirements.txt. So it's going to go ahead and download all the different Python requirements, and since we are using a virtual environment, it's not going to download these packages in the system Python library, but instead it's going to be installing it inside the virtual environment, that is the /env/bin folder. So we'll just wait for this particular installation to complete. Okay, so we have already installed the requirements.txt. So next, let's install the requirements other.txt. So you follow the same instruction, pip install -r requirements other.txt. Again, this is going to take some while. This is going to take some time, sorry. Okay then, so we have successfully installed the two requirements, so we are good to go ahead and now install the actual base application. So to do that, you just say python setup.py install. Okay, it says that it's complaining that your pip is not upgraded, so let's do that. I guess we had done it in the last lecture, but somehow it must have not been reflected here. So let's do that now. Okay, so this is done. So let's again go ahead and do python setup.py install. There you go. So your base has been updated or installed, sorry. So now let's navigate to the client folder. We'll do the same thing for client. So in client we have requirements.txt and requirements.doc.txt. So let's go ahead and install both of them. So do pip install -r requirements.txt. This will take a while because there are a lot of packages for it to install. Okay then, so we already have the requirements.txt installed. So now let's go ahead and install the requirements.doc.txt. So these contain the different Python libraries or Python packages that are required by Cloudmesh client documentation to be generated. We'll see in one of our lectures or one of the videos wherein we will be using this particular libraries to generate automatically the documentations in HTML. So that will be a part of another video. So I won't cover that up here. Okay, we are getting a small error here, but then I guess that we are good to, we can ignore this particular error. So let's go ahead and now install the client. So python setup.py install. Okay, so looks like our client application has been installed. So to see if the client application has been installed or no, we have the Cloudmesh client shell. So if you type cm, it should open up the Cloudmesh shell. There you go. So this is how a Cloudmesh shell looks. So if you guys have reached this far, congratulations, you have successfully installed the Cloudmesh client application on your machine, and you are now good to go ahead and experiment with the different Cloudmesh commands. So you can find the different commands in the help menu here. So if you just type inside the Cloudmesh shell, if you type help, you can see the different commands here, and they have been grouped together under different categories like shell commands, system commands, the different HPC commands, high performance computing commands, or security commands, etc. To exit the shell, you just simply type q. You can also you can also execute the this particular Cloudmesh commands without entering the shell. So you simply say cm help. So that should give you the help menu. Or if you want to go inside the shell, then you simply say cm, and you can type your commands inside this. Alright, so thank you guys for watching this particular video. So to recap here, what we have done is we already had the different prerequisites installed. So in this video we saw how we downloaded the source, that is how we installed Cloudmesh through source, that is we cloned the base repository, we cloned the client repository. Inside the base repository we installed the requirements.txt, the requirements other.txt. Then we went ahead and we installed the base, because client requires base, so we cannot simply install client and then install base. Then we did the same for the client. We installed the requirements.txt, requirements.doc.txt for client, and we installed the client application. So once that client application is installed, we now see that if you type cm, we have the Cloudmesh shell which is up and running. So this is how your shell should look like. And that's it in this video. So in the next video we will see how we can use the documentation commands to see the different HTML documentations here. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.